Om Sichinmaya Sadgurave Namaha Harihi Om. And we welcome one and all for this today's E2E program. What is E2E? Evolve to elevate. We all know, or we must know rather, that this human life is a journey. And more technical, if we look at it, or I want to understand, it's called as evolution of the Jivatma, or you can say the evolution of the soul. So in this journey, we have n number of interesting experiences in life. I just use this word interesting because no one can actually predict what experience will come at what time. So therefore, it is like a spontaneous sort of situations or the moments of life where you have to take a decision, and there we may not get sufficient time to think. So we have thought, think wisely, act correctly. Because always whenever we act in this world, we all know, or rather, we should focus and understand that there are always two paths available for all of us. Like, if someone asks you, would you come to my house? Now you have to answer. So you may say yes or no. So see, this is how. Then next time, would you like to have a dinner with us? Again, what is that? Again, you have a choice that whether to say yes or no. Okay, so simple example I've taken. Similarly, when a very difficult situation comes, like somebody wants to drag you in some negative action. Now, please note it. If somebody wants to drag you with that person to do some negative action, again, there is a choice. Let me give an example. What is that example? Most of you are in college, and we were also in some time in the past were in college. So what happens? Friend circle we all have, and certain people are little sort of bossy, and they start telling us, okay, now we are enjoying this so-called as smoking. Why can't you also start? Now just see, here is a situation where your friend so-called is asking you to have this first experience of smoking, or a group of people may are torturing you to have this experience. Now this is called as a situation. Now in this situation, how to act correctly, that we must know. So I'm just giving first some example that such situations keep coming in our life. So in this situation, if we fall prey to the force and the torture of our so-called as peer group, then they understand that you can be molded in any way. Please note it. Once we give a green signal for something, then next time people do not ask, they force you to do that. Yes or no? You say, means you know it is yes. Okay, so therefore, we must know how to think wisely and act correctly. Let me now start this session with interesting story of Mahabharata. And that is also a very interesting character called as Arjuna. See, Arjuna came to the battlefield with all his preparations. He came to the battlefield all with his preparation. So his physical preparation was done. He was very mighty, he was very strong, and then he had a lot of weapons with him, and therefore he is now ready to fetch a war. Okay, this is the first important point. Second important point, now he has his best friend with him. Who is that the best friend? Sri Krishna Bhagavan is his best friend. But that time, only he did not know this Sri Krishna is a Lord. He knows that time only that this Sri Krishna is 5 to 7 years elder than me, and he is wiser than me. He is more knowledgeable than me. That's the expression, that's the impression of Arjuna for the Sri Krishna. But they have a great friendship, very, very strong friendship. Arjuna was very loyal to his friendship. Okay, such Arjuna came to the battlefield, and who is a charioteer? None other than Sri Krishna as a charioteer. So, as soon as he comes on the battlefield, Arjuna says to Sri Krishna, can you do one job for me? So Sri Krishna asks, what Arjuna you want? Please take my chariot and let me see who all are there in front of me to fight today. So Krishna Bhagavan raises his eyebrow like this. And he says, okay, Arjuna wants to see who all are there. So he takes his chariot, and keeps exactly at some distance, but in front of Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya. Now, Arjuna is looking at, please just imagine the situation. Arjuna, the mightiest warrior, with all equipped weapons and the best of the best, so-called as charioteer with him. Now he is standing and looking at Bhishmacharya as well as Dronacharya. The moment he looks at Bhishmacharya as well as Dronacharya, his mind gets completely deluded. That means there is an emotional turmoil which starts in his mind. Emotional turmoil that, my God, I am here. And how am I going to fight with my most dear person? One who is Bhishmacharya. The second important and a dear person is who? Is Dronacharya as his guru. How can I fight? So his mind is completely under the spell of emotion. And quickly what happens? He takes a decision. No, I cannot fight, because how can I fight and kill these two people? Then he starts justifying his own wrong notion to Sri Krishna and says, no, I don't want to fight at all. This is the situation. Please understand now. Sri Krishna is listening to whatever Arjuna is telling to Sri Krishna and not saying anything. This is extremely important, because first we must know the emotional status of the mind, whosoever is in front of us. So therefore, listen to the person. It is a great, very important aspect of the personality. Listen to someone who is saying something. With that, you can understand what's going on in his mind. Why is it so? Because the words are nothing but louder expression of your thoughts. Please note, words are nothing but the louder expression of your thought, and thoughts are there in the mind. So it is a direct expression of mind in the form of these words. So therefore, if you listen to someone who is talking, you can understand the state of mind of that person. Sri Krishna immediately understood the state of mind which was not good at all, which was not positive at all. He could understand Arjuna's mind is under the very great influence of negativity and delusion. What is delusion? Not to see, please note, what is delusion? Not to see things as it is. Not to see things as it is. Not to see situation as it is. But a deluded person colors the situation, colors the object, and then from this deluded vision, he sees the situation or sees the object, and therefore there is a very great turmoil which can happen in the mind of such deluded person. This was the case of Arjuna. Now, having heard everything, Krishna Bhagavan said, "O Arjuna, how can you have such a wrong emotional status at this crucial point of your life? Because this will ruin whole of your life, as well as this will not help you to grow, as well as this will not help anyone around you who suffered because of the injustice of the Kaurava." Now he understood that, oh, there's something wrong which I'm doing. So Arjuna turned now little, and he was little better. He says to Krishna, "Oh Krishna, can you please guide me?" Now, this is a beautiful verse. Can you please guide me? He says, what guidance you require? He says, at present, I do not know what is my duty. I am confused of my duty, and therefore I cannot act. So, O Krishna, my dear friend, O Keshava, can you please let me know what is my duty and how can I act correctly? Here starts the right suggestion of knowledge by Sri Krishna. What is that? Now, please note, the first important aspect of knowledge which Krishna is giving to Arjuna. He says, just do not allow your mind to go into the past. Please note, don't allow your mind to go into the past and brood over the past experiences. Don't allow your mind to get into the future. Please note, don't allow your mind to go and think about future. It will bring an anxiety. Let us focus on whatever is present, because present is whatever, but it's a reality. Please note, present is a reality. Now, let me give one example. Like if you appear for an interview, or you want to appear for an interview, okay, and you have a previous experience of some interview where you failed, and now you are thinking about that failure in your mind. So what will happen? This mind will get completely disturbed. It starts worrying, oh, this happened in the past, so this may happen now also. Therefore, let us not do that. If you keep thinking about the future, oh, if I do not get this job, then what will happen to my career? And so on. That will also disturb your mind. So focus in the present. Whatever is your capacity, please understand, whatever is your capacity, whatever is your knowledge, be firm, be confident, and answer all questions of the juries, called as all those who are taking the interview. Now note here, nobody is expecting from you that you should answer all questions. You may think about them, but if you do not know the correct answer, you may very honestly should say that, okay, sir, I do not know the answer of this question, but I would find it out. That shows that you are honest and you don't want to just throw some sort of your mind's imagination for the answer. This also is important. So what is a message here? That whenever we come across the situation, let us not go into the past and bring all sort of different experiences and disturb our status of the mind. Similarly, no future, but remain in the present and face it absolutely with the stable mind, without any excitement at all. So this is a first message given by Krishna Bhagavan to Arjuna. Now understand, second message he says, Arjuna, understand Arjuna, you are, now this you have to note it, you are playing a role, and your role at present is of a warrior. At present, your role is of a warrior. Now, warrior is there on the battlefield for what? Now, please, next important point to be noted. Warrior should be there on the battlefield to fight against the unrighteousness. If there is injustice done to you, you must fight it out. You must fight it out. And therefore, there was a great injustice done, very unrighteous actions done by Kauravas, like they wanted to really kill all the Pandavas. And they tried it for n number of times. Then they have done a very wrong behavior with a great Bhakta Draupadi, the wife of Pandavas, that we all know, that is called as Vastra Harana, on the very big, so-called, in front of so many people. And that's why they were all unrighteous, unruly, and very, very injustice. Very, very wrong things they have done. Therefore, they should get the right message, or we should taught them a right lesson. And therefore, a warrior should be fearless. Now, when I say warrior should be fearless, this is a message given to everyone, that whenever you take up any action, first you have to clear up your mind and bring this stage, no fear for anything. Noted, no fear about anything, whatever may be the situation. Okay, this Bhagavan is telling you are a warrior, your role as a warrior at present. What is the duty of the warrior? Warrior's duty is to fight against unrighteousness. Now, whosoever comes in front of you, let that be anyone. Maybe your brother, maybe you are any relative, and here is Vishwacharya and Dronacharya. But they are supporting the unrighteous army, unrighteous people. So they also now should be considered as unrighteous. Please note it. Therefore, a warrior of a great valor should fight against all such people, and therefore no emotional turmoil. Only focus your mind and intellect on your action. Think wisely, act correctly. Now, how This is the example. One must know, if my duty is of a warrior, then I don't have to bring emotion in my action at all. Let me give another example. Let me give one another example. If someone, please note this example now. If someone is suffering with a disease called as gangrene, gangrene is a disease where it may affect our hands or legs or any other part of the body. And if our hand is now, if somebody's hand is affected by gangrene, called as disease gangrene, then there is no cure to it at all. So what is the solution? To ampute the hand is the solution. Otherwise, this disease will spread all over the body, and now this will be an end of that body, or this will destroy that body. Therefore, my dear friends, it is required, or it is suggested, or it is most important to cut out or ampute this hand and save the body. Why is it so? Because this gangrene is incurable. Now, can you understand this part of it, this example, that the body and the hand, though they are connected, it is our own hand, but our own hand, if it is suffering from some disease, then we must have that fearlessness, that right thinking to ampute it, to cut it, to save the body. Similarly, Bhagavan says, Krishna Bhagavan says to Arjuna, here to save the society, Arjuna, you have to fight and kill all unrighteous people. Here, killing is not advised, but what is advised? To do your duty at present as a warrior. Okay. Now, a second important, now this was the message given to Arjuna. The next message, Arjuna says, how should I control my emotions? Because this experience which I am now having is appearing very difficult to control. Now here, Bhagavan Krishna gives a very good sort of message. What message is there? This is little technical and you have to be more careful in your understanding. What is that? He says to Arjuna, what is an experience? What is an experience? Experience means the sense organ coming in contact with sense object. Example, I'm just giving example, like if this is a sense organ and this is a sense object, if they come in contact with each other, there has to be experience, and there will be an experience. Now, note it. No one can run away from experiences of life, because this world is full of sense object, and our senses are very active also. So there will be an interaction between the sense object and sense organs. Nobody can stop it at all. You cannot say, let me just lock down myself in a room by shutting the door, window, and just remain there 24/7. Oh, my dear friends, it's not possible. Okay. So if I have to be in the world and I have to understand how to control my emotion, then this is a formula. I'm asking one question to you. Which experience in our life is permanent? So answer is no experience in our life is permanent. Please note it. No experience in our life is permanent. What experiences are we getting? We are getting experience either of joy or a sorrow. We are gaining experience either of a gain or a loss. We are gaining experience either of a defeat or a victory, and so on. So, my dear, please understand, experiences will keep coming. So, what is required here? Bhagavan says to Arjuna, develop sportsmanship. Develop sportsmanship. What is that? Sportsmanship means a player, when comes to the sport ground, he understands, when I'm playing a game, only two things can happen. Either I will win or I will lose. So there should not be only focus of us only on winning, or there should not be any wrong thought of losing, and losing. But have your focus on doing your best. Have your focus on giving your best. And then you start playing the game. Know it. In a game, in any game, the opponent party is always there and trying hard to knock you down. Now, here is your capacity. Here is your ability. Here is your right potential to give a right message, called as right reply, called as right hit to whatever is the situation. So you can prove your capacity, you can prove your mettle. Now, even if there is experience of defeat, you should be able to take it very sportingly. And if there is an experience of a victory, that also you should be able to digest it very balanced, with a very balanced mind. So this is called as think correctly, think wisely, and act correctly. Now, let me just wind up this subject. Unless and until you have a right knowledge, you cannot have a wise thinking. Unless and until you have a wise knowledge in your intellect, you cannot think wisely. And if you cannot think wisely, then you cannot act correctly. Therefore, we must know, we keep changing our roles in life. Think, we all keep changing the roles in our life. Example, like sometimes you are a student, so the student's role is different. The same person, when he's at home, can be a daughter or son. Then when you are in front of your mother or father, that time your duty is different. The same person can be with the sister or with the brother or with auntie and uncle. There your duty is different. The same person can be in the office as a professional officer, or same person can be in the hospital managing a very difficult operation. That is a doctor, or an engineer at a very difficult site of construction. All these roles we must know requires a knowledge which is called as that subject speciality. So we must gain a good hold over the subject matter of wherever we are working, as whatever field we have chosen. Let us first gain a very good mastery over that field, over that subject, The moment you gain the mastery over that subject, you have the knowledge. Then you can correctly answer or correctly take a decision whenever it is required. So, what is the conclusion? One who has the right knowledge about the different roles in life, as well as different situations which we have to face in life. How to face the situation? By understanding the role of our own. If we can discriminatively think at that moment and then take a right decision, our life will be of great joy, will be of a great experiences. And we all know, or we must know, every experience should make us better and not bitter. Every experience should make us better and not bitter. Every experience of the life should make us strong and not weaker. Every experience of the life should make us strong and not weaker. If we understand all these principles of life, then we can apply all these principles at right moment to take a right decision. So, hope you have gained a glimpse of think wisely, act correctly. Thank you for being with us on today's session of Think Wisely and Act Correctly. If you have any questions, then we can have the Q&A session now. You can start your video and ask me any question if you have. Anyone? If we do not have any question, so let me say the closing prayer. Okay, we have one question. Anubha.
Yes, Prabhu, one question I have, and thank you very much for giving the opportunity. Prabhuji, the question is when you said, like, we should act and think correctly, but when situation comes, when suppose we are in dilemma, although that time Arjuna was okay, Krishna was there for the Arjuna, but in the real life, when there is a dilemma, all the thoughts blocked. We are not able to even think in the right way. Even maintaining the intelligence and wisdom that time seems very difficult. What we should do in that case?
Yes, Anubha, good question. That if the situation is difficult and if the mind is under a pressure for certain situation or because of certain situation, and now here the mind and intellect are not ready for a right decision. So my first suggestion would be there should be someone in your life that who can be your well-wisher. So immediately contact that well-wisher and share your situation where you can get a good guidance. This is a very important thing. If you cannot take a right decision at some point in your life, then you must able to take a support, but that support should be a very positive and a well-wisher of yours. Then you will get a right sort of suggestion. Think over that suggestion. If you want to make any changes on that suggestions, you can do as per your requirement and then act. This is how we should able to step forward when we have any dilemma in our life.
It's clear. Thank you very much for the answer.
Yes, you're welcome. Anyone else? Don't hesitate. You may have any question. So your question can help others to again have right thinking. Acha, Anuba wants to ask another question. Okay, Anuba.
Yes. So no, the question here is like, suppose when like Arjuna actually listened, like what Krishna said, but there is a situation when someone guide us because it's happening with me generally. I
Okay.
listen to it. Suppose I read books. There are lots of books too. I read it, but when it comes to implementation, again the situation comes. It's not that we are. I'm not able to implement what I learned. This is again a problem. So it becomes only theoretical, not practical, and I don't know why it just happened. As many times I try, I can only execute that thing for 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, or maybe a week after putting lots of efforts. Then again get back to nil. Then again a
I
cycle of
got
the.
your question, Anuba.
Yes.
I would definitely give you right answer now. So think. So whenever we can act correctly for one time or 1 day or 2 days or for a limited time, that means our capacity of mind to hold on to the right thing is limited. Please note it. Our capacity to hold on to the right thing is limited because you have acted correctly for 1 or 2 or 4 or few times. That means you have the capacity to act correctly. But only here weakness is you do not have a very good capacity to hold on to it for acting for a long time. So I will give you a suggestion that see, we have so-called as spiritual sadhana. Now, something we must able to do. Mind can be made strong by chanting very potent mantra called as Gayatri mantra. Every day, if you can chant Gayatri mantra 11 times, you will gain that stability of the mind, that power of the mind, which can really hold on to good things for a longer time. And slowly, slowly, you will greatly able to do your things as you wish. And this is not just a words, but it is an experience. Please note it.
It's clear, but Gayatri mantra anybody can chant. I mean, there is no previous qualification.
No qualification required. And please understand, people have such sort of wrong understanding that girls cannot chant because of their sort of particular physiological condition. So that is also a myth. When you chant Gayatri mantra, think about the Lord with the purity of the mind and chant it. Let there be any condition of the mind body. Is it okay?
Yes, it's okay. And just one last question. When
Okay.
you gave an example where you said our actions are actually what we thought, what our thoughts and the mind. But when suppose someone's action in the anger is like very hyper, they can say anything, and later they say, "I didn't mean that. I didn't think that I'll do." So how these things happen? Like if somebody, like for example, in my situation also, I don't think anything
I
bad
got
about
your
anybody.
question.
Yes.
I got your question. Let me answer it. See, when somebody is in anger, so anger blocks the discrimination power. Please note it. Anger blocks the discrimination power. So intellect is blocked, and therefore the mind's emotion are playing on the surface of the so-called as action. Therefore, this person says something, whatever is to be said, whether it is good, bad, and after the emotional turmoil is over, the blockage is clear, and then the intellect says, "My God, you have done a wrong thing." Therefore, this person regrets. So, hope you understood that what I said, because of the anger is also an emotion, And because of a strong emotion, it blocks your discrimination power of the intellect. Therefore, when the anger starts coming, you have to be aware and take a right step. Then only you will prevent the blockage of your intellect and you can still act correctly. Anubha, is it clear?
Yes. Is it clear? I wish I will. I hope I am able to. I will able to execute this whatever
You
I
will.
learned here.
Try.
Yes, sure. I will definitely try. I hope. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Practice, this is a simple principle. Practice makes man perfect. So, whosoever is doing whatsoever has reached there by the practice. Is this clear to everyone? So, we have to do practice of everything to have a command over whatever we want to achieve. But that practice should be very religious, very, very continuous, and with a consistency. Right? So, let us hope you all can think wisely and act correctly. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.